Yeah, I get right to the racks. Then I make that shit back. Run up on me, get shot in the back.
This is James in the building for this country, man. Back in the Dad, same house we got. Who are 18th Street? The story of history, one of the most notorious, biggest gangs in California. This is about to be a good one, I'm not gonna lie. Because 18th Street, we keep hearing about them. Aren't they the most hated?
I don't know.
I've never heard of them. They be for a lot of people, I think. It's Jerry TV. If you have a channel, join the description below. Right?
Yes, sir. If it's your first time tuning in, subscribe to this beautiful channel. It's all love on this channel. It's all love. It's all love. No negative energy on the channel. So subscribe to the channel. Request a content and then we react. Super dope reaction channel. This is Jaren from Jaren TV. Follow him on Instagram. We have a Discord below. And I'm Pops. Follow me on Instagram too. Pops with an S. Pops Reacts with an S. Pops Reacts on Jaren TV. We also have JarenTV.com.
Yeah.
You can get the dope Jaren TV shirts. You know what I'm saying?
That's alright too, man. No more talking.
Going off as the Clanton 14, but branching off and starting their own gang, the 18th Streets definitely have a story to tell. This gang has some insane history that involves more and a lot of extortion. Los Angeles, California has a notorious reputation for being a birthplace, founding location, and the start of the nation's most notorious gangs. Also, the city has seen a lot of gangs start here and branch off to other states. But this gang has branched off to other countries and continues to thrive to this day. Today we're gonna talk about 18th Street, Barrio 18, the M18s. Yeah. All right. Welcome to Cali's Most Dangerous. Let's get into it.
Let's get it.
One night involving 18th Street and rival gangs, March 15th this year. At 6 p.m., 5 men shot on Hillcrest. 30 minutes later, a man is shot 3 times. Another gang shooting 35 minutes after that on Santa Rosalia. A 16-year-old shot twice. Then at 8:30, the same night, 2 more gang-related shootings.
On a warm summer night,
Basically, it was just back to back. They were like, we shot y'all boys. We're gonna shoot y'all
Get
boys.
back. There was like a lot of payback.
Los Angeles, California, Rivera Rodriguez was out solo roaming the streets. You know, just turning up, drinking, enjoying the night. Just minding his business. Rodriguez goes to a liquor store to grab another drink. It was the same as usual. Grab a drink, go and joke with the cashier, pay for the drinks, then head off. But on the way out, things quickly went left. As Rodriguez is walking out of the store, well-known 18th Street member Juan Alperez is smoking a cigarette and walking towards the store with other 18th Street members. Well, as the two cross paths, they slightly bump into each other. Rodriguez takes offense. He puts his beer down, calls Rodriguez, and they exchange words. Shit escalates. Now Perez spits in Rodriguez's face.
I think so.
Instantly, Rodriguez responds with a punch to Alperez's face, knocking his glasses off in the process. After that, Alperez slowly steps back, puts a cigarette in his mouth, reaches for his pistol, and fires 6 fatal shots into Rodriguez. Alperez slowly walks away from Rodriguez's lifeless body, but before disappearing into the neighborhood, he throws up his hood. 18th Street.
Wow.
The pigs were able to track Alperez back to his apartment where he said he was at the whole time, and he knew nothing of the shooting. But due to video evidence and statements from witnesses, he was arrested and charged for the murder. Ultimately, Alperez was found guilty of second-degree murder and sentenced to 20 years to life in prison.
Wow.
Danger rating for 18th Street. 18th Street gets a danger score of a 9 out of 10. These guys have always had reputable members who keep the game prominent in the streets and have always had and have crazy stories in the streets. Look, I don't care what hood you from in Southern California, whether you Crip, Blood, Serenio, whatever. Like, you definitely heard their name or some stories about these guys. Like, off tops, you definitely heard their name. If you haven't, you lying or you probably op. So, I mean, I guess that don't count. But let's get into all that. We're gonna get into all that as we explain who these guys are.
Well, when we go kill you, we're gonna send a couple of guys down there, really make a mess of you. The execution style is a really beautiful way to do it, because that sends out a message.
See this? This is a 400-ounce bar of solid gold. Back in the 20s, this could buy you a decent house.
On the afternoon of November 25th, 2010, Cindy Sanchez drove her boyfriend Carlos Sentinel to his sister Yesenia Chantanella's apartment. Carlos had been a member of the 18th Street gang for about 10 years. Yesenia claimed Lost Players clique, but she was not an actual member of the 18th Street gang. Sometime after 10 p.m., Cindy drove the Cantanellas to a location on 79th Street within 18th Street's gang territory. Yesenia told Cindy she needed to go talk to somebody about something personal. When they arrived, Yesenia and Carlos exited the car and began yelling at Ada Zeladon using her 18th Street moniker, Giggles. The Sentinellas disliked Ada because Ada made statements that Yesenia had been prostituting and making the gang look bad. Ada and her friend also jumped the Sentinella's sister. Ada came out and argued with Yesenia. Carlos tried to hit Ada with a bottle. Ada then called Mila and Francisco Lazella, who were 18th Street members, for help. The Sentinellas then left when Ada's mother came outside. After the Sentinellas got back in the car, Yesenia had Cindy drive her to a location on 82nd Street, another area Cindy knew to be claimed by the 18th Street gang members. Yesenia wanted to look for Lozano, who Carlos knew to be a shot caller for the Los Gangsters clique. Carlos testified that a shot caller has the authority to tell other gang members what to do. As he neared the location, the Sentinellas jumped out of the moving car. Cindy saw them heading towards Lozano, who was standing in the front of the apartment gate with about 15 other people.
Oh, wow.
Carlos attempted to punch Lozano, but he ducked. Yesenia pepper sprayed Lozano and yelled profanities at him. Yesenia and Lozano argued loudly about graffiti that had been on the wall nearby. "Bitch, you ain't from my hood," was written on the wall, and Yesenia's gang moniker, Like Crazy, had been crossed out, and Yesenia demanded to know why Lozano had crossed out her name. He responded that she was not from 18th Street. She needed to stop playing with the gang, and he didn't fuck with her. But since he walked over a few minutes after Yesenia pepper sprayed Lozano, she identified herself as the gang moniker Casper. Carlos knew her to be a shot caller. Well, Vicente and Carlos argued for over an hour. And at one point in the
in down south, they have a lot of like sureñas, basically, like cholas. But up north, it's not like that. Like, they're not really allowed to have like girls who are joining these gangs. Yeah,
it's pretty interesting.
There's no such thing as a norteña. It's only like the sureñas and shit.
Oh,
cholas.
So, all right. So the girls are kind of not in the thing.
Yeah, we gotta.
I kind of heard that because I think one of them said because girls tend to tell.
What should we cover, guys? Like some chola content.
I don't know if it's true, but that's the rules. We don't make them. We just stay in them.
Identified herself as the gang moniker Casper. Carlos knew her to be a shot caller. Well, Vicente and Carlos argued for over an hour. And at one point in the argument, Vicente punched Carlos in the face and told Carlos she was an OG from 18th Street. Yesenia asked her brother if he wanted her to fight Vicente, but he said no. Feeling offended, Vicente then told Carlos, "Man, you know you talking to the main head?" She took out her cell phone and called Yesenia Escobar, also known as Shorty, and told her to come over. Vicente then gave Lozano a look. After all this, Lozano warned the Sentinellas to watch tomorrow several times and said it was over for him. Thinking everything was done though, the Sentinellas returned to Cindy's car, drove back to Yesenia's apartment, and they all spent the night. Well, fast forward to the next day. Ada called Lozano, and she was heated. Ada felt disrespected by the Sentinellas coming to her house and calling her out, and she expressed that to Lozano. Well, Lozano followed up by telling Ada that Yesenia pepper sprayed him. Well, that set the course for revenge against the Sentinellas. Later that night, Ada, her friend Mila, and Lozano got into Bassetti's car and drove around looking for Yesenia.
He's got good footage.
Bassetti then drove them to Yesenia's apartment, but they came grouped up and ready for action. Escobar also drove up to the apartment with Patricia Acosta and Patricia Ortiz. Ada, Lozano, and Mila got out of Bassetti's car and jumped over the apartment complex's gate. Escobar and Acosta followed. Bassetti and Ortiz remained in the vehicles. Sydney, Yesenia, Carlos, and their children were having dinner when they heard a loud knock. Yesenia asked who was at the door.
Batista.
Someone outside answered, "Hey, what's up, it's me." Carlos opened the door to find Escobar and Acosta outside. The two women entered the apartment and demanded to know why Yesenia pepper sprayed Lozano. Escobar left, but returned a few minutes later with Mila. Mila said she came to Yesenia's apartment because she heard somebody was claiming her hood. She asked Yesenia, "Aren't you from Colombia?" Yesenia said, "No, I'm from Los Players." Carlos also replied that he was from Little Psychos, a subset of the 18th Street gang. The woman told Yesenia to come outside. She refused though, saying that her family was inside, and if they wanted to say something, They could say it in there. When Milo asked Carlos to go outside, and he agreed. When Carlos stepped out of the apartment, he saw Lozano pulling up the hood of his jacket. Afraid of what Lozano might do, Carlos tried to run around and go back inside the apartment. But Escobar pepper sprayed him. Milo grabbed Carlos by the shirt, and Mila, Ada, and Acosta beat Carlos. Cena could hear him struggling and screaming.
I believe we did, right? Drummer Boy, his name is? What's his name, guys? Damn, we do so many reactions, I forgot. I never forget either.
I remember the butt cheeks.
Yeah.
Carlos tried to go back into the apartment, but he was held by his shirt collar as he was punched. Yesenia unsuccessfully tried to pull Carlos back into the apartment. During the struggle, though, Lozano pulled out a gun wrapped in a sock and shot Carlos in the head. Acosta, Mila, and Ada fled, jumping over the fence.
This shit all on
Cena heard
paperwork,
Yesenia
right?
yelling,
That's
"Don't do
crazy.
this, I have kids," as she was running with the children to Yesenia's bedroom, where she heard a gunshot.
Damn.
Meanwhile, in the living room, Lozano points a sock-covered gun at Yesenia's head, and Yesenia screams before he shoots her in the head, and she falls to the ground. When Yesenia gets up, she runs to the bathroom and tries to close the door. Lozano was originally headed towards Yesenia, but then he walked towards the bedroom where Sidney was squatting down on the mattress. He aims for Sidney's head, cocks his pistol back, but before he could shoot, Sidney kicked Lozano and moved to avoid the gun. But after a few minutes, Lozano left without an explanation. Ada, Zelion, and Milo ran back to Pasetti's car, and Pasetti drives back to her house in another neighborhood. Unfortunately, Yesenia died as a result of the gunshot wound to her head a few days later. Carlos survived, but doing this, he lost his hearing in one ear and suffered lasting speech and memory impairment.
Oh my God.
Lozano was a shot caller for the Los Gangsters, a clique of the 18th Street gang, and also belongs to the Wall Street clique as well. OGs, or shot callers, have high status within their gang, dictating gang policy and directing lower-ranking soldiers to commit crimes at their discretion. Someone who falsely claimed to be a shot caller will be severely beaten or killed misrepresenting the gang. Respect is a central concern in gang culture. Gangs respond violently to disrespect because it weakens their reputation and impedes their ability to control their territory and commit crimes. Ultimately, Lozano was sentenced to 50 years of life in prison, and Pasetti was sentenced to 25 years of life in prison. Man, ruthless is the first thing that comes to mind when I think about 18th Street. But trust, man, the 18s are way more than that. Who are the 18th Streets?
Los Angeles City Attorney James Hahn has declared legal war on a South Los Angeles street gang. Under a state nuisance abatement law, he filed a lawsuit against members of the 18th Street gang, accusing them of turning a 17-square block area into a war zone.
The Barrio 18s are a multicultural gang originating in the Pico Union District of Los Angeles, California, particularly by MacArthur Park. And they damn near ran that park with the iron fist. The city is definitely trying to hide this past, but murders, shootouts, drug deals, extortions, whatever else you can name, yeah, they did that up there. Now they have Mexicans, Salvadorians, Guatemalans, Asians, blacks, and even some whites from the set as well.
Wow.
You just can't be no bitch or snitch. That's how you end up in a ditch. Bars, nigga. 18th Street will use symbols like this Roman numerals X, V, and then number 3. And also Roman numerals X, V, and then the Roman numeral 3 as well.
Oh, wow.
As well as 666. If you add that up, 6 plus 6, 12, plus another 6, 18, is 99, which basically stands for 9 plus 9, 18. The 3 dots on the graffiti and on their tattoos as well. In terms of colors, you'll see them with a lot of blue rags, Raiders attires, and Dodgers attire as well. The M18s are known to be closer with the Crips and beef more so with Bloods and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
The Barrio 18's historic territory is composed of 5 neighborhoods in Los Angeles. East Los Angeles, 18th Street, North Los Angeles, South Central, and South Side, as well as the West Side.
It's really everywhere.
To be clear, these guys are a combination of over 12 dozen subsets and cliques that come together to form 18th Street. These subsects makes themselves unique by calling themselves...
Wait, these gangs are like by the crypto arena? You saw that? By Hollywood?
Yeah.
They're very close to like...
I was in Hollywood. I didn't know.
So LA, isn't it crazy? LA's so compact. That's why people get robbed so easy, like these famous rappers, because it's right there. It's not far. Like
They get robbed because they want to wear jewelry and they don't know that it's really real out there. Like, you know it's really real and you want to be wearing jewelry and fronting. And hey, sometimes people hungry and they're going to eat.
Together to form 18th Street. These subsects makes themselves unique by calling themselves different clique names, and then some of them will include like their block and things like that. Some of the cliques include the Tiny Locos, the Pee Wee Winos, the Hoover Tiny Locos, the Boulevard King Gangsters, the Los Gangsters, the Diablos, the Columbia Little Psychos, the Shadow Park Locals. And each of these sets have their own streets and rules and means of regulation and operation as well. With usually one shot caller at the forefront of the game. And 18th Street doesn't operate on a few blocks or areas, man. These guys are spread out through all different parts of Los Angeles, from north, south, east, west, south, central, man. Even Long Beach, these guys have a prominent presence that is definitely known.
I didn't know that.
Also, because of this, numbers-wise, they're one of the biggest gangs in Los Angeles with over 30,000 members alone. So it's safe to say, man, you're gonna see them on every corner, on every block, every
Wait,
park.
chat. So they have more than Florencia? 13?
30,000. Shout out to them. They deep.
Trust,
That's the
these niggas
deepest
ain't your
gang I've
friendly
heard
neighbors.
of.
Nah, nigga, where you from? You bang? What set you claim? I'm just trying to put you up on game because that's how they gonna press you, man. So be ready. And if you op, try to duck a few shots. Just pray, man, you gonna get dropped. Bars, nigga. Nah, these guys are one of the most feared and respected gangs in the city of Los Angeles. 18th Street has known stories around the city ranges from territory takeovers to cop killings. Matter of fact, on August 9th, 1998, LAPD officer Phil Cuesta and his partner were patrolling the known 18th Street area in Los Angeles, California. The cops were cruising the area looking for tips when they got one about a gang party in the area. After getting information about the party, the cops pulled up about half a block from the location and began to survey the party. Looking for one of 18th Street gang members and watching for illegal activities. The cops had their attention at the house party. This gave known 18th Street member Caterino Gonzalez the perfect opportunity to sneak behind the cops' cruiser, which is exactly what he did. Being distracted by the surveillance of the house, they failed to notice Gonzalez approached the back of the cruiser as he let off multiple shots into the car with his 9mm Glock. Cuesta put the car in drive and attempted to drive away, but while driving, Cuesta was hit with a fatal shot to the back of his head. Gonzalez was later arrested and convicted for the murder, but he never offered an explanation on why he committed the shootings. Cops rumored that Gonzalez was pulled over by officers and felt disrespected, so he followed up with the revenge shooting against the cops. Gonzalez is just...
Why would you kill a cop? Why? That's like one thing you don't do.
Yeah, because they're coming for you.
I'm surprised they didn't try to kill him on the spot. But
I'm sure they tried to. I'm sure they gave him. He had a rougher time, like getting booked and getting processed. Trust me.
Oh my God.
Because you know,
he's gonna get life,
the
right?
cops.
The example of that.
They're the biggest gang, and they all got guns.
Yeah.
And they got authority to use it. So, cops are the biggest.
But they're gonna make an example of him, right? They'll give him a life, right? If you kill a cop, you're getting life.
I'm sure he's got like life with no chance to get out.
Yeah.
officers and felt disrespected, so he followed up with the revenge shooting against the cops. Gonzalez is just one of the many, many reasons why 18th Street has a reputation and trust. This gang has a lot more stories that make the gang so feared today. But let's get into some history so we can see why and how 18th Street earned its reputation. History of 18th Street.
In other news, a judge has ordered members of a vicious gang not to congregate on the streets of a Los Angeles neighborhood. The 18th Street Gang reputedly has up to 20,000 members throughout California.
It was the worst of news for LA's 18th Street Gang.
We can't hang around with our friends that we grew up with, you know. We all friends in the neighborhood, you know.
Judges order that bans 3 or more gang members from gathering in public anywhere in Jefferson Park. The judge said they can't even walk down the street together. Violators would be in contempt of court and could go directly to jail.
That man's trying to set his own rules, you know what I mean? But it ain't going down like that, not in the neighborhood, you know what I mean?
It criminalizes things that aren't otherwise crimes and reduces our protections against invasion of our civil liberties and civil rights.
And gang members remain defiant.
LAPD, that's a gang too. And I'm an LAPD killer, you know? I hate them.
Starting off as a small group of misfits, 18th Street was created as a branched off set of the Clanton 14, a well-known Mexican gang, but that Pico Union gang was mainly Mexicans and didn't accept members from other ethnicities. Because of this, 18th Street members broke apart from the gang and started their own set, and this started a war and a long life and rivalry that is still going to this day. All this took place during the 60s. By the 70s, the gang was growing into one of the bigger gangs in Los Angeles. But by the 1980s, this gang exploded in terms of membership to become the biggest gang in Los Angeles at the time. This was due to a mass migration to Central America to the United States, particularly Salvadorians and Guatemalans, because of the civil war that was playing out in other countries.
Oh, wow.
So what happens when you get people migrating from one war-torn, oppressed area and move right to another? You get people who start to join groups to protect themselves. You get people looking for a brotherhood, more people to relate to. You get 18th Street members. And during this time, these vatos did what they wanted, when they wanted. The only group this gang was under was the Mexican Mafia, aka La M. In 1992, the Mexican Mafia called with several street gangs, including 18th Street, in order to set up rules and regulations among gangs, including paying taxes. So, to put things simply, or to be clear, as far as California goes, 18th Street are Southerners or Serenials. Now, out of state or out of country, you know, I don't know how that works, but out here, they're Southerners. What about out of state though, man? Are you guys pretty much the same, or is it a little bit different? You know, when I made my other videos, there's people comments like, "Oh, 18th Street, not Serenials, this and that." Shut your That's up, nigga. You don't know. You probably not even from Cali. But doing my research, I did see it was some people like out of the country though. They was like went by like the revolutionaries or something like that. Like, but they're 18th Street too. But it was weird. But y'all let me know in the comments though. You know, y'all fill me in on that one. All the OGs or anybody tapped into the streets. Y'all let me know. Let's have a conversation about it. But anyways, like I already mentioned, in the 80s, you really seen 18th Street explode in terms of membership. But by the 1990s, the game kept at a steady growth, but exploded in a whole new way.
The case that proved a direct link of power between 18th Street and the murderous Mexican mafia. And to make it a point, the feds zeroed in on a clique of 18th Streeters known as the most lucrative, the Columbia Little Psycho.
Mm-hmm.
Well.
Mm.
AK-47s.
Wow. Oh.
No, he told.
Yo, that green light is real. I didn't realize how real it is. Like after seeing these documentaries, like people get the green light of them and they actually catch you eventually.
That's the culture. That's the lifestyle. That's part of being a gangster. That's part of the streets. It comes with life, death, prison time.
And that shows structure too.
Lots of money.
I know it's not
structure. And these guys, this is like the high end of gangs because everything's like organized. Like when they turn that light from red to green, like it's happening.
Two are fugitives.
To this day, 99.
Pretty impressive. Wow. Oh, wow. Damn, they beef with Florencia Playboys. We covered Playboys Hub Live. We covered the Florencia Hub Live. Go check it out.
Yeah, we did.
They beef with everybody. Yeah, they're top out, right?
Wow, that's crazy.
And MS-13. Wow.
That's two giant gangs.
Yeah, what the hell? Wow. Wow. Oh, they beef with the P-Stones? The P-Stones beef with Crips. So they're probably cool with the neighborhood Crips then.
Oh, wow.
Wow. I didn't know that. Oh, wow.
It's a scary dude. Right?
Nah. Yo, it's not publicized like the black on Mexican crime or Mexican on black, like vice versa. You don't hear about that. Those wars, they're like silenced, right? We hear about black on black crime,
like in the media
and everywhere, like in interviews and her vlogs, and like maybe we're just outside looking in. Maybe I'm bugging.
Yeah, we're looking. I'm sure, like if you're in that world, you know.
But I've never seen like a Mexican going at it with a black dude. Like you always see like black dudes argue on IG, online? Like on IG Live, or like it goes viral, where like.
I think we've learned from covering, especially like the Hispanic, the Mexican gang, the Raza. They're very organized. Yeah. They got a lot of rules. Yeah. So you're not gonna see that where you'll see more with black gangs. Like they'll be on IG live talking crazy,
yeah. And it's just facts.
And the police be like this with their popcorn that's watching. So that I think that's maybe why you don't see that. I'm pretty sure that's why you don't see that.
Yeah. We gotta react to him. Yeah, react to him.
Yeah, we gotta cover him.
Oh wow, black dude too.
We gotta cover him too.
Any Means and King Lil G. Nigga, if you haven't heard about him, you must have been on that Pookie or something this last decade. Like, this nigga's hard. He has a unique flow and definitely stands out amongst other LA rappers. And look, if you don't like his flow, bro, like, just go check his videos out for the bad bitches, bro. Bro, this nigga got bitches in his videos. It's like hoes, ass, everywhere, my nigga. I promise you. Shit, nigga, if that's the case, man, what I need to get down, man? Y'all put me on tomorrow, nigga. 1-8, nigga, what's good? Nah, no, y'all definitely go check them out, man. Let me know in the comments if I'm leaving anybody else out. Hey, look.
The gang marks its territory with graffiti in the 17 square block target area. The city wants to shut down the violence with an unusual injunction, stopping gang members from associating with each other.
There are an estimated 300 18th Street gang members in the target area. 18 have been singled out in the injunction request. Only 4 have an attorney.
Despite 18th Street tattoos and eyewitness declarations, they all deny being part of the largest gang in Los Angeles, one of the most violent gangs. Judge Alan Buckner said you can't deny the existence of a gang when its members wear tattoos and throw signs.
18th Street is still one of the most active gangs in Los Angeles, California. It's always some new stories, controversy, or some news popping up about the gang.
TV, yeah, shut up.
We out of here.
Peace.
And I know how it gets so I gotta stay low, not move my knot. I don't trust no nigga, I don't trust no man, ain't no friends, everybody get shot. You never know how nigga gon' throw him, hitting the floor with a couple of shots. You better move, you better duck either way.